Hey everybody, David the AI Guide here. Happy Saturday, episode 15. We're starting a new segment, AI at Work. And AI at Work is going to become more and more prominent. The larger companies are already well established in using AI today. The smaller companies, not so much. And there's reasons for that, and we'll talk about that. But the first thing we need to talk about AI at work is a foundational technology. So computers is one of those. Because AI is software, you can't run it without a computer. Well, another foundational technology for what's coming in AI is robotics. And just like computers, robotics is older than you think. The first industrial robot was invented by George Devol up in Danbury, Connecticut, all the way back in 1954. So that was 66 years ago. Hard to believe, especially because the world was totally different in the 1950s than it is now. But George Devol conceived and started development of it. During development, he partnered with a guy named Joseph Engelberger, who was a sales and CEO type guy. And they created a company that went on to patent the first industrial robot in 1961 and installed that robot in a GM die casting plant. So a die casting plant makes the large pieces of an automobile, right? They make the fenders, the hood, the trunk lid, the roof, the big pieces that are put together to form the structure of the car. And this die casting work back at this time was very hot, very dangerous, high injury rate industry. So once the first industrial robot was invented and implemented at this plant, it not only transformed productivity, it made the plant much, much safer than it had been. So this was truly revolutionary for the die casting industry. And that was started in 61 and went through the early 60s. Then by 1969, Joseph and George got their shot at the assembly line, and they implemented a robot on the assembly line at the Lordstown, Ohio GM assembly plant, which has been around for many years and I believe just closed. But this robot would spot weld the huge pieces of the car together. So at the time that this started, an employee would pick up a door, say, and the robot would spot weld it to the body of the car, or it would spot weld the fender to the frame of the car, stuff like that. Fast forward to now, and the main assembly line of most car plants is virtually fully automated, with meaning no humans are in this area. The robots pick up pieces, attach it to the frame, and weld it on. That is now significantly driven by AI. So Joseph was so good at promoting this technology that he became known as the father of robotics, even though George Devol was the inventor. George was a world-class inventor because he invented another technology that you see every single day on everything you use practically, which is the barcode. So the 50s was the infancy of robotics. The 60s, it really started to grow. And by the late 60s into the 70s, international companies building robots had started to develop. One example of those is ABB, which is one of the hugest corporations in the world now and still has a robotics division, but they invented a robot that would spray paint houses all the way back in the 70s. So robotics has been around for a while, but it's nothing compared to what's coming with robotics. So we're going to continue talking about robotics in our next segment, and I'll see you on Tuesday for that.